What does meditation actually mean? It is the dynamic retention of our awareness on a chosen theme or subject. Of course, this is only a very elementary definition, but at this stage we will not enlarge on it, for we must first realize what condition is necessary for the mental practice we call meditation. It is the ability to unswervingly maintaining your awareness on a chosen theme for as long as you decide to continue with the same. The true name of this ability is the power of concentration. Without concentration, the attempted meditation will be nothing more than a suddenless floating on one's own of thoughts, which come from unknown source and defy efforts to put them in order according to top preconceived plan. The Latin origin of the English word concentration has a clear and definite meaning. It refers to that which has a command center, or is moving toward a center, and is best expressed by the term one-pointedness. Imagine that you have an unsharpened pencil or a small stick. If you have to use either of them to pierce a piece of cardboard, you will find it difficult until the ends of your simple implements have been properly sharpened. Even considerable pressure exerted on an unsharpened pencil will not produce a neat hole. Why? Because a simple physical law is at work. Your power has been dissipated over the whole comparatively large surface of the blunt instrument, thus providing insufficient force to separate and remove the particles of cardboard for the clean hole. Similarly, a blunt knife or a saw does not cut well and the results is unsatisfactory since the efforts is wasted by being spread over too large an area and too many points. It is not concentrated. But sharpen your tools and there will be little difficulty in piercing a hole or cutting a straight line. Where then lies the secret, if any? Merely in the fact that force applied through a single point acts more effectively and seems far greater than the same force simultaneously exerted on many points. This elementary law should be clearly and strongly established in the mind of anyone studying concentration and meditation. Here we are not seeking to perfect a physically tool. The proper employment of the mind is our first aim, the mysterious power and attainment which can be gained only by use of a well-sharpened, one-pointed tool. With regard to the mind, we may call. An average man's mind is filled with countless thoughts, and therefore each individual one is extremely weak. When, in place of these many useless thoughts, then appears only one, it is a power in itself and has a wide influence. We know that many great scientists and inventors, whose ideas are now serving humanity, often ascribed unique discoveries to just this capacity for strong, concentrated thinking. This was the case with Sir Isaac Newton, Einstein, Thomas Edison, Louis Pasteur, and many others, all of whom were conscious of and able to use their extraordinary power of concentration, that is, the ability to think solely about the object of their investigation to the exclusion of all else. In later/Latin America and Mexico, people who are unable to control their minds and forever wander from one thought to another are jokingly, but appropriately, referred to as having 500 thoughts at one time. The idea of sharpening or concentrating our minds is neither new nor illogical, but rather scientific, since it has definite aims which can be thoroughly investigated, applied and reached. Thus concentration is not merely an ability to direct and maintain our full and exclusive attention for some minutes on say a pinhead, but rather it is the ability to stop the thinking machine and look at it when it has ceased revolving. A craftsman feels sure that his hands will obey him and execute the exact movements he requires. Indeed, he does not even think about it and works without worrying whether or not his hands will do just what he wants at a given moment. Under such conditions, hand and other human organs, when working properly, constitute a harmonious unit, capable of functioning in their own particular sphere of action. Now look closely at the function of your mind-brain. Can you affirm with utter certainty that you always think only when and about what you really want to, and that therefore you know from where your thoughts and feelings come into the light of your consciousness? Can you withhold the entry or limit the direction of thought in your mind for as long as you wish? If you are able to analyze your thinking processes, your honest answer will be no. So it would seem that the average man is not a good craftsman, because he cannot control his chief tool, the mind and its thought. This life is spent in using and accepting something which originates outside his reach and understanding. The practical study of concentration and meditation opens to us the world not only of result, but also of course, and lifts us beyond the slavery of uncontrolled feelings and thoughts. Also, you should know that the way of concentration leads much further than the mere capacity for one-pointedness of mind. Actual success means nothing less than the understanding of the mind's nature and source, and the simultaneous transcending of both these factors. It is the entering into a new state of consciousness about which you cannot possibly know or anticipate anything until you achieve the two-faced realization just mentioned. Concentration will not necessarily cure your physical diseases or change your personal bands. On the other hand, if the study is successfully conducted to the end, its final aim, the complete domination of the mind, will give you the key to the new consciousness which opens the mysterious gate from which you can see your life as it really is. Then you will recognize that even the unchanged pains belonging to your petty personality is something really apart from you. Where does all this work with concentration lead, and what is the next step beyond? To that consciousness now ripened within you is posed the question. To whom has all this work as concentration been happening? To your mental personality, your ego, composed of feelings, thoughts and physical attributes. Surely you know that this is not so when you work with the art of concentration. You seem to find yourself moving beyond the triple individuality to a state in which you are absolutely free, and this is only for a taste of that bliss which surpasses all human understanding. So that still mysterious to which all attributes seem to refer, remains to be found. This can be done only by true meditation. In many poetry occult circles, so-called meditations on themes which are given in advance such as a virtue, realization of a holy image, the play of words and thoughts, etc., are only the mediocre actuality of an unconquered mind, which often leads only to the realization by the individual of the lack of control of concentration within himself. Mind cannot be other than it always is. Techniques of writing and speaking which use the mind as a basis, the method commonly used by people untrained in high concentration, are similar to fishing in muddy water where you cannot even guess at the type of fish you will catch. If your hook is big enough and the bait is adequate, you know that you will probably catch a large fish. When the mind is surpassed, and the radar of your newly born consciousness allows you to see beneath the surface of the water, then everything assumes a different shape. From the point of view of an untrained layman, true meditation is superconsciousness, but for those who have achieved the aim of their study of concentration, it is only the normal state of consciousness. Through the understanding and use of concentration you have learned to be still. Now realize that the stillness, this inner, untroubled point of balance, is all. It is the source of all true knowledge. If you still need any knowledge, it is the beginning of samadhi, which makes you immortal. This has no relationship with whatsoever to the lower kinds of ecstasies belonging to the astromental realm, which rather are confused visions on relativity, as is the metaphysical world, only transferred to a slightly higher level. The samadhi of which is speak is the spiritual consciousness of which is derived of all visions, and which is ultimate peace and bliss, the legitimate inheritance of all human beings. It is truly a mass of seeing the heavens is just this bliss of the final stillness, that ultimate perfection, independent of anything and beyond time and space.